welcome back to Pre-K Sunday School. It's good to be back with all of you for another Sunday School. Hope you all are doing well. And for those of you that started preschool this week, we hope you had a good first week. Before we start our story today, let's take a moment to honor and remember the men and women who died on September 11th, 20 years ago. And we keep each of them, their families, their communities, our nation and world in our love and our prayers. Well, today, with our story, we are finishing the Joseph story. You remember the first parts? Remember Joseph had like 12 brothers? Remember he had those dreams that he was favored by his dad and got special gifts, and then he made his brothers mad. And remember they threw him in a pit. They sold him as a slave to Egypt. He went down to Egypt. He ended up in prison. You remember? He was in prison for a crime he didn't commit for like 2 or 3 years. And then finally, Pharaoh, he gets called to interpret a dream that Pharaoh, who was like the king of Egypt, had. And in that dream, Joseph realizes that a famine is coming. That means there's not going to be food for people. And so the Pharaoh puts Joseph second in command of all of Egypt. And Joseph begins to save food so that when the famine hits, he and Egypt and other nations will be okay. Well, today we have the third part of our story. Today, Joseph encounters his brothers again. Well, with that, let's head on in to our story. And remember to watch for Squiggles the caterpillar hidden in the images. Here's our story. Joseph helps his family. God always watched over Joseph. God spoke to Joseph in dreams, and Joseph used this knowledge to plan ahead. When the famine came, people from all over came to find food for their families because they heard that Joseph had saved up for 7 years. Even Joseph's brothers traveled to Egypt to find food. But it had been such a long time since they had seen each other that the brothers didn't recognize Joseph. Joseph kept the secret of who he was from his brothers for a while. But soon he couldn't wait any longer. Joseph finally told them who he was. "I am your brother Joseph," he said, "who you sold to the Egyptian traders. Don't feel bad anymore, because God sent me ahead of you so that I could save people, including you. This famine is going to last for many years, so hurry back to our father and tell him that I am safe. I want you to bring your families and your children and all your sheep and goats to live near me." Once Joseph's brothers saw who he was, they hugged each other and cried. They jumped up and down with relief and joy. Joseph and his brothers talked and talked. The brothers talked from the time the sun came up to the time the sun went down. When Pharaoh heard that Joseph's brothers had come, he told Joseph, "Tell them to go get everyone in your family. I will give them great land in Egypt to call their own." Joseph gave his brothers wagons, food, and new clothes, and they went back to their father and told him the good news. Joseph is still alive. He's the ruler of all of Egypt. Everyone danced when they heard the news. This is all I could ask for, Joseph's father said. Now I will see my son again. Let's get moving. Joseph's family all moved to Egypt, but the brothers were worried. What if Joseph is still angry with us? We were so awful to him. What can we do? The brothers went to Joseph and said, Here we are. We don't deserve to be your brothers anymore, so we will be your slaves. But Joseph said to them, Don't be silly. I am your brother, no matter what. Even though you planned for something bad to happen to me, God turned it to something good. And that's our story. Well, thanks for joining us for Pre-K Sunday School. Today, we learned from Joseph that true courage is not about getting even with somebody else, but true courage is about forgiving. And it's as we forgive that we truly change the world. We'll know that we love you, and we'll see you next time.